Yeah, that's what we were hearing.
Yeah. But I'm knitting, so it's okay.
Yes.
Nancy, this storm isn't fair to you. You've been through this just recently.
Hurricane Irma a few years ago. Yeah, we've had a lot of gunk down here. Months of red tide. Just yeah, it's yeah.
Yes.
And well, stay
I
safe
turned them
during the
upside down
storm.
because they were still wet.
Thank you.
Nan Allen is here. Nan doesn't have her yarn yet, but the mailman picked it up today.
Yes, I saw that. It made me very happy.
Thank you. Well,
I
hopefully-
currently live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I visited Donna's shop on several occasions. And I got the newsletter today and jumped on the knit along opportunity, and Donna accommodated me so nicely.
well, we're glad that you're joining us. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Debbie, I see Debbie Feidler there.
She's muted.
Yeah, there she goes. Oh, there she goes.
I'm Debbie and I'm in Columbus.
Okay. Let's see. Did we miss anybody? Robin, did we miss any of your folks?
Cynthia just joined. Cynthia,
Hi,
do
Cynthia.
you want to unmute and put your video on?
Yep, my video's on. Hi, everybody.
There she is. She's also in.
My computer.
Columbus. Yeah.
Yeah, my computer was being irritating, so it took me a few minutes.
And I see Gloria, but I don't think she's muted, and I don't see her video on either. So I think she was trying.
I'm right here.
There she is.
Can you put your video
I
on?
was finishing dinner.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Well, welcome everybody. Did we make sure we talked to everybody? Did we miss anybody?
I think we have.
I don't think
everyone.
so.
If we missed you, just yell out, guys.
Yeah. So welcome. And this is more, it's a knit along, but Robin and I are here to help and guide as much as we can. And I know some people have started. Susan, do you have your sleeve there? Look at her go. So
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
was it last Tuesday or last Monday?
Last Monday.
So I spent about no more than 30 minutes, would you say,
Yes.
with Susan? So the Letho starts with brioche in the cuff. And the nice thing about this is it's only one color brioche, not two color brioche. So it's a little bit easier to wrap your head around. So let's see, I think Natasha has a link in the pattern, right, Robin?
Yeah, it's a very good one too.
What's that?
It's a good video.
Oh, good. Okay. So I think we would both recommend that everybody, when you have a chance, click on that link and look at her video on how to knit brioche in the round. Has anybody else started? And it's okay if you haven't. Betsy has. How far are you, Betsy? Oh, Becky, I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, I have one.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the needles that she recommends. So, and I should be a little bit more organized here on page. Does everybody have their pattern accessible? I should have put mine in order.
It's page 3, Donna.
Page 3, thanks, Robin. So she does call for quite a few different needles, and I would just say pay special attention to in the pattern when she says use needle A or needle B or needle C, make sure that's the needle that you're using, because if you're anything like me and you're knitting along and you're having a really good time and you just kind of blow over that part and keep on knitting, and then you have to go back because you didn't change your needle and your gauge might be off a little bit. So I would say pay special attention to, when she tells you what needle size to use. And let's see, here we go. Robin, do you want to, please feel free to speak up.
What I was just going to suggest with the needle sizes is, and what I do, and I don't know, and if you do this already, or everybody has their own little way of doing things, but I usually go through the pattern and I will take my highlighter, and where it will say to change needle size, do that. If you swatched and you got a different needle size than what the pattern calls for, make a note of that too, because as you get into knitting it, you're going to forget or something. So just make really good notes in your pattern, use your highlighter. Another thing is to always know what size you're knitting. So you might highlight that in your pattern as well.
Yeah. And one thing that I did was, let's see, on page 6 at the bottom where she says slip stitch color work, she doesn't tell you to slip the stitch with yarn in front or yarn in back, but that part of the color work is in the round, and you're going to slip your yarn with the yarn in back, slip your stitch with the yarn in back. Because I slipped all mine with in front and then I had to take it out. So that's at the bottom of page 6 under the slip stitch color work. And then on page 10, where it says color work and welts, on the left-hand side, where you start slipping, where it says next row with contrasting, which is a wrong side row, with contrasting one, slip one, knit one. There you're going to slip with your yarn in front. So I would just make notes of that so that you don't make the same mistakes I made and have to take it out.
How do you know? Is there
I
some?
didn't know until I did it and it looked wrong. Because she doesn't tell you.
Okay.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, read the second one.
Yes.
So on page 10, on the left-hand side, under the section where it says color work and welts,
Okay.
as you go down the page, where it says next row, wrong side, with contrasting one, slip one, knit one, you want to slip with your yarn in front.
Okay.
And then you move it back to knit, and then in front, and then back.
Makes me wonder how I did that, because I didn't pick up on that.
Let me see yours, Robin. Do you have, look,
I
well,
think
that's your cuff. Your cuff is
That's
correct.
okay.
That's right.
so the welts.
Look at your the collar is the second part. That's up at the collar. So you should have those same tiny squares.
I think I do.
Yep, you're perfect.
Oh,
No, it looks
not
perfect.
taking it out.
So those are the two things that I found that I did wrong, and then I had to take it out and do it right because she didn't tell you.
Yeah, Donna, sorry, is it under color work and welts on page 10?
Yeah.
Is that the slip?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes. And where it says wrong side, it says next row. It's the second next row that she has there. It says with contrasting one, slip one, knit one. You're going to slip with yarn in front.
Got it.
Yeah. I wonder if
And
we
so did you,
let her know that. Wonder if anyone's let her know that. So
I don't know. And this is one of those patterns. Oh, Susan has her hand up, I think. Right? I haven't seen it.
yeah, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. So did you say you're in the round on page 3 when you do the first slip? Okay, so I guess the way I think about it is if you're in the round, you want to slip in the back because that's going to be the inside of your work, which would be your wrong side. And then on page 10, if you're on the wrong side, you'd want to slip in the front because you're on the wrong side. So that's just an easy way that I remember that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
When it's showing on the wrong side. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, you want the slip to show on the wrong side.
Right. So when you're in the round, it's going to be on the inside. And then when you're on the wrong side, you're not in the round anymore, but you're on the wrong side, you're gonna want it on that front because it's the wrong side.
Another, oh, let's see. Rachel has her hand up as well.
I'm the real beginner on the call, so let me just start with that. So I just realized, so for my brioche, in the round, I have a 40-inch circular needle, but my shortest one is still like way big. Can I brioche with magic loop, or do I need to wait until I have and order a shorter?
No, you
Cord?
can brioche with magic loop. As a matter of fact, she recommends a 40-inch needle. So,
Yeah, but then it said like, or small. I got confused by the second portion of that.
I know. I didn't know if they meant or, but it didn't say or.
Yeah.
we're on which part?
In
So
the
on
needles.
page 3 in the needle piece, it says you need one 40-inch needed to obtain gauge and a set of needles for working in a small circumference.
Right. So she says DPNs or one long circular or two short circulars. So whatever your favorite method of working in the round.
Okay.
It does whatever you're comfortable with. I did mine on a 12-inch circular. And then when I got into the sleeve, I went to a 16 doing my increases. But you can definitely do magic loop, or you could do double points, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I used the shorter. I think I did a 9-inch on my cuff.
Let's see what else. Oh, I was gonna say, this is one of those patterns when you knit it, and you know, you've heard the expression, trust the process. This is definitely one of those where if she tells you to do something, just do it. Don't think, oh, that can't be right, you know, because I've never knit a sweater with this type of construction before. And it's almost like you don't want it to end. It's like a good book. Yeah. Because it's so much fun, because every part there's something new. And another thing that I did, I don't know if Robin, if you did this on the welt section. Mm-hmm. So this would be on 6. Great, thank you. I need to get my pages in order. Okay, so on the welt section, when she says, under the techniques, I think it is. Let's see, was it under techniques?
Page 4.
Page 4. Okay, so on page 4, I'm not saying she's wrong. I think I made this a little bit easier for myself. She says, using a spare circular needle that is preferably thinner than your working needle, pick up stitches along the top of the stitches, the purl heads, 4 rows below. She says, skip 3 rows of the purl heads and pick up the 4th. Hold the spare needle with the picked up stitches behind and parallel to the left-hand needle, and knit together the first stitches from each needle. Continue to work the first stitch from both needles together. For my brain, now that might make perfect sense to everybody, and I say if it works for you, do it. But what I did, it's super simple to count 4 stitches below. Unfortunately, I already have it done. But when we get to that part, we can show you. Is that how you did it, Robin, or did you do it with the stitch?
That's exactly how I did it. And I think, so when she says, skip 3 rows, you're going to skip that includes the one on your needle too, correct?
No, you're going to count you're going to count 1, 2, 3 holes, and then you're going to pick up the 4th purl bump.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So, and you're going to be looking on the inside of your work.
So you're looking for the smiles, guys.
Yeah. So when we get to that part, we can show you how to do it. It's super simple. And you can certainly do it her way, because after all, she's the designer, if that works for you. But it just was so much simpler for me and my brain to just count. You can see the little holes of each stitch. So what I did was I went 1, 2, 3 and put my needle in the 4th hole. And then I looked at the wrong side, found that pearl bump where my needle is, it was, and I just put it up on my left-handed needle, and then you just knit those 2 stitches together. So it was super simple to do it that way for me.
Yeah.
So, there's a variety of ways that we can tackle this, and everybody's going to want to do it differently. So whatever works easiest.
You're basically pulling a stitch up.
Correct. You're taking the
four rows
pearl bump.
loaded. Okay.
Yep. You're taking,
And
so
it
what you would do is
creates like a
you would
wrinkle?
count, I'm sorry, say again, Mimi?
It creates like a wrinkle, that welt.
It
or-
creates these
Yeah,
guys.
like the
Yeah.
wrinkle or the bend or.
Yes. Yes. So it's not hard to do.
No, it's really easy and it's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. And then when you get to the 2-sided provisional cast on, guys, Jackie of Caddy Jack Knits has a absolutely fantastic video on that.
It's wonderful. And that is like magic to me.
Yes.
Isn't it? Oh, Rachel has her hand up.
Go ahead, Rach.
Oh no, I forgot to
Oh.
put my hand down. I'm
Oh,
going,
okay.
I'm ordering a shorter cord.
Okay.
Okay, I have my hand up.
Okay, yes, Mimi.
Is that video in the pattern? Or should
It's
we
on
make
you.
note of it?
It's on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and search for Caddy Jacks, and it's CADYJAX. And I think it's double provisional cast on.
Yes.
Okay. Caddy Jack.
Yes, CADYJAX.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And she does a wonderful job. But Natasha also does, I thought, a really good job with her illustrations, because she does a really good job as well for the 2-sided provisional cast on, which is on page 14. So
I looked at that and was like, what?
oh, it's
Well, the video will
like,
help.
it definitely will help, but it's like magic when you
Mhm.
and don't get frustrated, excuse me, if you have to do it 1 or 2 times, because you're gonna knit your left hand section, and then you're gonna knit your right hand section, and then you're gonna graft it with a 3-needle bind off in the back. And when I did my left hand section, I did it that one time and it worked like a charm. The right hand section, I must have done it 3 times before I got it right. So it just, it was one of those days.
Yeah.
But I think what I was doing, I don't crochet, and I think I wasn't crocheting my chain correctly to unzip it.
Mm.
So, and that's the only crocheting you need to do in this pattern, is just do a crochet chain for the provisional cast on. But it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks way cool.
This is like the most fun I've had knitting a garment, you guys, I think. It's just, I don't know. I think everybody will enjoy it.
I think so too.
Who does not know how to do brioche? Is there?
I'm like,
I looked at the tutorial before this.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
well, for Mimi, she can come into the shop if she needs help. And if anybody's in North Carolina and is nearby the shop, I don't mind helping y'all. I know, Nan, you're too far away, but we'll get it done. We'll get you. But look at the video. And how about for you, Robin, if they need help in
Well, I have
Columbus here?
tomorrow night. So if anyone in my group or anyone who doesn't come and knits with me is welcome to pop in. I can do my best to show you. It had been a while since I had done any brioche, so I too had to watch the video, but I have someone in my group who does brioche, so she could also help you. But
so I'm going to get to the brioche. Let's see. Next week I'll have my pages in order. But the thing about that brioche in the beginning, if anybody knows what page it's on, let me know. Let's see. It's just the cast on page.
It's page 6 has the directions for brioche.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so when you're going to cast on whatever size you're going to do, however many stitches for your size. And you're going to use needle B. So pay attention to what your needle B is going to be. And you're going to use your main color, which is the color of your body, what you're going to do. And so you're going to join in the round, put your beginning of the round marker, and then you have one setup round. And the setup round is knit one and slip one yarn over, means bring your yarn in front like a yarn over and slip the next stitch. And then you're going to knit one, but you're not going to bring your yarn behind like a regular knit. You're going to leave your yarn in front, because what that's going to do is every other stitch is going to have like a shawl collar or a yarn over it. If you brought your yarn in back, you wouldn't have that shawl collar. So basically you're going to knit one, bring your yarn in front and slip, knit the next stitch, bring your yarn in front, slip, knit, yarn in front. So you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. If you forget to do a yarn over, it's very easy to make one on the next round. You're just going to pick up and put a stitch on your needle to make a yarn over. So that's your setup round all the way around. That's all you're going to do. And then you're just going to repeat rows 1 and rows 2 over and over for 4 inches, I believe it is. So if you look at round 1, she says slip one yarn over, and all that means is you bring your yarn in front, slip the stitch, and then burp, BRP. And she has this in the what do you call them? In this, what is it, Judy? In the
Techniques.
They're called techniques.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. So she has all this information there. So when you see BRP, that's a brioche purl. When you see a BRK, that's a brioche knit. So when you have a brioche purl, you're going to have a stitch, a purl stitch with the little yarn over on top of it. You're going to purl those two together. When you see on the next round, when you do the brioche knit, you're going to see a knit stitch with the little shawl or yarn over on top of it. You knit those two together. And that's all that means is BRP is brioche purl, meaning that purl stitch has the yarn over on top of it. And BRK means it's a brioche knit, which is a knit stitch with the yarn over on top of it. I know this probably sounds Greek, but if you go and look at the video, it will make sense. So did I just really scare y'all away, or is it okay?
You're good. Yeah.
We're here.
I would recommend you use a highlighter tape or something like that so that you can just mark whichever row you're on, because you can easily get off.
And you have another knit companion users?
Oh, yeah.
I don't use it, but yeah, it's a great tool.
Because I use that on my iPad, and then I can just highlight everything, write notes right on it.
Yeah, that's a great tool.
And I've used it for so many years. I'm just used to it now.
I never got good at it. I tried a couple of times, but I didn't get very good at it. But once you start getting some fabric built up, you'll be able to see the brioche knits and the brioche purl.
Okay.
So see how you can see. So you'll know if you have done something wrong, like if your yarn over was on the wrong side, it's going to show up on the top of the stitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's it takes a little bit of practice to fix that. So I don't know if Robin, if y'all are in Columbus, I can fix it for you in Black Mountain. Robin, if you have somebody there that can fix it for y'all, it's really easy. It sounds more complicated than it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get going with it. It's not that difficult. I think I might have said this to Susan. Have you guys, does anybody knit socks? Yeah. So do you remember in the beginning when you thought about knitting socks, did you ever have somebody say, oh my gosh, socks are so hard, or they're not for beginners, or, I mean, if you can knit and purl, you can knit a sock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the same thing. A lot of people who have tried brioche and maybe didn't give it a fair chance. And you know, you're going to rip it out. There's no doubt about it. I ripped out when I first started knitting brioche, I ripped it out a lot, but it's like anything else, just practicing and you'll get it. So don't think you can't do it, because you can do it. If you can knit and purl and do a yarn over, you can do it.
Okay. Holding you to that.
Okay. Well, you know where to find me.
Yep.
So does anybody have any questions?
I do. I have a question on a different topic. I am trying to decide on a size because I would like, what I want is for the sweater to end up trimmer. So I think I've sort of figured out what I'm going to do. I just don't want the sleeves as wide or the cuffs as long and full. And so my question for right now is how wide are the front panels, the brioche panels in the front? Do you know how wide those are? Because the pattern says, you know, this size fits with those panels, whatever we call them, overlapping. And I don't think I want that. So I want to take that width into account.
Let's see on her schematic.
Yeah, so
It doesn't really show it on the schematic, I don't think. You know, there's just a width for the whole, like the bust measurement, but you can see she shows the drawing with those panels overlapping.
Yes.
But I saw a little video online and they met, but they didn't overlap. And I think I want to do that rather than the overlapping. So I wanted to accommodate for that in the size that I chose.
What size bust are you?
When I measure myself, you mean?
Yes.
I'm about 42 or so.
So
I think
well, that's going to be a tough one because I haven't gotten to that part yet. And I don't know what you could do, Dorothy, is you could go look on Ravelry at other projects.
Yeah,
and
I've done
see,
that.
Yeah. Has anybody modified?
Yes, I found some modifications where people modified because should the designer suggests that if you want a slimmer fit that you go down a size. And she also suggests you can adjust the length of the sleeves. A couple people on Ravelry said, let's say they chose medium as the size they were going to make. They went to a small for the sleeve and an extra small for the cuff. But I thought, trying to figure it out, I thought if I knew how wide that trim piece was going to be on each side, that would help me. You know, I don't want it skimpy, but I just would like some of the fullness out.
yeah, and it doesn't really say in the pattern, I don't think.
No, it doesn't. I've looked at the pattern pretty carefully and I don't see that. So I didn't know neither of you have done that collar piece yet to know how wide it turns out to be, huh?
And I'm not there yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's not, I guess it only matters in terms of the size I decide to work on, but I'm going to start on the sleeve anyway, so.
Yeah.
It looks to me like it's very close. I stopped my video. I didn't mean to. It looks like it's very close to the width of the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how wide is that?
Yeah, I can look for that. Yeah, you're right. It does look that way.
I think it's a little smaller than that, a little shorter than that, but close.
So that's 3 inches. The ribbing should be 3 inches.
Okay. All right. So I thought I might do, rather than go up to the 46, which is probably what I would do in the pattern normally, maybe I would just do the 42.5 inch.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like if you look at the body ribbing,
where are you?
This is on page 10.
Okay.
It looks like once you pick up all your stitches and it says work the ribbing basically, rows 3 and 4. This is the very bottom, like 3 sentences from the bottom. She says
Okay.
work rows 3 and 4 until ribbing measures 3 inches.
Right, right.
So I guess you could shorten it there if you wanted to.
No, I don't want to shorten in the length. I want to shorten.
No, I
it
know.
the
No, I
width.
mean the width. This is the back and forth for the for the.
Oh,
So instead of knitting 3 inches of your ribbing here, you could knit. Oops, that's not right.
that's the bottom.
That's
I think
that's the bottom.
That's the bottom.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the bottom.
okay. Where's the ribbing for the?
Well, that is, what do they call that? What does she call it?
9, 10.
It's is it part of the collar?
Yes.
Ah. So let's see.
That's what I thought, that it was part of the
Okay.
collar.
So that might be kind of, let's see.
Yeah, because they do that with the increases and the brioche.
So I thought if I could, I like the width of the collar. That's not the issue. I just want to take some of the bulk out, like from underneath my arms, and that's what she suggested, is that you go down a size if you want to, go smaller. And online, when I looked on the Ravelry website, people had gone down.
I think you should do that.
Smaller for the sleeves,
Go
smaller.
down.
Just
No,
go down
just go down a size smaller
in the sweater.
in
Yeah,
the sweater.
that's what I thought. Yeah, rather
If
than
you don't
that,
want it that full, that should make it a little.
right, a little.
Yeah,
trim.
it'll be more open. It won't overlap.
Yeah,
If that's what you want to.
yeah, that's fine with me.
Then you would probably want to do the 39, right?
Well, that's my debate today, as I've been studying this pattern, is do I do the 39 or do I do the 42? Because I'm like 42. I mean, that's close to where I am.
So there's no,
But the pattern allows for like 5 or 6 or 7 inches of, what do you call that when it's?
Positive ease.
Positive ease.
Yeah, so if I go clear to a 39, am I going to end up too skinny? Yeah, it says the cardigan is designed to have 6 inches of positive ease. And that's
What
okay.
size would you normally make?
I probably would make the 46 normally. Well, it depends, I guess, but to allow for some ease, I'd probably go to the 46. So if I do the 42, then it takes out that ease. Maybe that's as far down as I need to go. I don't know.
Yeah, if your bust measures 42,
Right?
right?
Yes.
Then if you did the 42 and a half, that would
Right.
be like a quarter of an inch of ease on each side,
Right.
right?
Right.
Well, no, it would be 6 inches because the ease is built into the pattern.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, right.
So you might want to go down to the 39.
but aren't those the finished
Yeah,
bust
those are the,
measurements that we're looking at? So the ease isn't quote built into it.
I thought it said it was. Let me look at what she says about that, because I read
The ease is built in.
the ease is built in.
But the
Yeah,
schematic
it definitely
the
is.
schematic should show the finished measurements.
With the ease built in.
No, that's what I would think.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, I would think that the finish, that if you're looking on page 13 at the schematic,
Right.
that should be our finished garment measurements.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
so if I do the 42, it should just about meet.
So that should be good.
All right, I'm going with
Yes.
that. Thank you.
I
You
think that
can
would be,
also, I'm thinking about Patty Lyons, how she always instructs on sweaters, which is to measure sweaters that fit you.
Mm.
and look at those measurements
Yeah.
to
That's a good
compare
idea.
And I
with the
did,
pattern.
I have done that in the past. I forgot about that. That's a good idea, but yeah, that's probably what I'll do is just go with that 42 and then I think I am gonna go down one size on the arm and another size for the wrist, because I would like the cuff to be narrow, not wide like it, it's a wide cuff. It's a full cuff.
Pretty full.
Yeah, it is.
I think they're thinking of, you might even put that over another sweater or something,
Yeah, that's what she said.
but I'm not sure I would do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see, it's got some width to the cuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm thinking that it's going to be for me personally, it's going to be one of those things instead of wearing a coat.
Yeah.
It doesn't get as cold here as it does in Ohio, but
Mhm.
I would throw
Right.
this on versus throwing a coat on.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the intention, actually. I think I will wear it more if it isn't as full.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll deal with what I wear underneath it.
Look at Susan go.
Yeah, she's good.
She is.
I was
It's
just checking
fun.
the cuff width, like what she was saying. I mean, I'm knitting medium. No, I'm knitting the small.
Small.
And I have fairly small wrists, and you can sort of see it is,
Yeah.
It's
It's
full.
rude.
it's
Yeah.
full, but I don't think I don't think it's too full. I think like what Donna said, it's really meant to be more of
Yeah,
a,
no, it doesn't look crazy full. It looks
right. It's not meant to be a super fitted sweater. It's meant to throw
Yeah.
over something else.
Right, yeah. Robin, what size are
Well,
you?
there's Robin's.
I'm knitting this small.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're all knitting the small so far.
So yeah. So I think Susie and I are on the same page with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, it does not look, it doesn't look overly wide or anything.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Looks
Okay.
good.
Thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
That's why we're all here together. We'll all get through this together.
And there's still only all kind of guesses.
Well, luckily, Robin and I have gotten a little bit going here so that we can help you guys along the way. It really is fun. Paula's not here tonight. She's on her way to the beach, but she sent me a text last night and she's almost sad that it's over because she's enjoyed it so much because there's so many different, it's a great skill building pattern. There's so many things in it that that double-sided provisional cast on was just amazing. And I've knit a lot of brioche, but I've never knit one color brioche. I've always knit 2-color brioche. So it's been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And now tomorrow I have to start a test knit, so I have to divide my time between my test knit and my Letho.
Oh, is that something that sounds interesting? It must be.
It's a really beautiful pattern. It'll be out in August. Tiff Nillian, I think that's how you say her last name.
Oh yeah, nice.
I'm sure you'll cue us in.
I will. I'm still not sure about my colors. It's 2 colors and I went back and forth all day long. So, and I have them upstairs and I'm still not convinced. So it'll be fine.
Are they have to be contrasting colors, Donna? Or
well, what she did was, let's say, for example, she has like a pale peach for the body. And then there's just a little bit of color work at the bottom and at the top and on the cuffs. And she just has like a darker peach.
Mm.
And I have a green that I love, but it's a pretty dark green. And I just don't want a light green for my body. So I was thinking about doing the reverse, doing dark green for the body and then a light green for the color work, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'll figure.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, does anybody have any other questions or anything that we can help you get started or anything?
I guess the only other thing, do you have some kind of a like timeline for this in terms of, do you have an expectation of where we should be next week in terms of topics?
Well, I think that it would be great if everybody was obviously casted on, and if you can at least get your brioche started, and I will make myself available if if you want to, if you have a pen and paper, and if you need help with your brioche, if you want to FaceTime with me, we could do that. If you guys want me, I'd be happy to give you my phone number. It may not be till nighttime because I work, during the day, but if you want me to try and help you long distance, I can certainly do that.
Sure.
Raise your hand if you want my phone number.
I have it.
Okay, it's 828-279-7835. And the best thing to do is just send me a text and say, hey, I'm Judy or Cynthia or whoever from the Knit Along, and when would be a good time? And then we'll make a time where we can meet, if that's okay with you guys. I mean, I'm happy to do that.
Mhm. You're so nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But as far as, I don't want you guys to think that this is a race, and maybe, Susan's already on her sleeve, but she started before y'all. Don't feel pressured if you're not at the same spot other people are. Just go at your own pace. If you finish by September 14th, you're eligible for the $50 gift. So we're going to give one from Black Mountain, and Robin's going to give one from Yarnbyrds. So if you don't care about that, if you're not done September 14th, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
my last question is, I rarely do a sweater without swatching.
You want to swatch?
You definitely want to swatch.
Right. I was tempted not to because there's so much
Don't be
ease,
tempted.
and
No, I
almost always-
swatched
okay.
and I changed my needle size based on the swatch, which I rarely do.
And then
Yeah,
once
I
you
rarely do
swatch-
either. I almost always don't get row gauge.
Okay.
So I
that's
have to
not as
measure
important
my-
as your stitch
Okay.
gauge.
All right. I was just tempted to jump right in, but
I know, it's so tempting.
And Mimi, even after you swatch, you want to block that swatch
okay.
because several people's gauges changed after they blocked it.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll make a difference with, whatever needle size you decide.
Yeah, doing some of Marie Green's workshops convinced me of swatching, but I was just like,
If you
Always.
want it to fit, you want
okay.
to swatch.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
don't want
I
to do
know
all that
better.
work.
I will do what I know.
Yeah. Cynthia, did you have a question?
Yeah, Robin, you mentioned a measurement last time we got together that was really important. but I
Oh,
forget
it
what the
was from the back of the neck. Is that what she told you, Donna? Do you remember that?
Yeah, you go from the back of your neck and you have your arm extended and then slightly bent.
Okay.
And then you almost need somebody to do this for you because it's almost impossible to do it yourself. But you measure, there's a little knotty prominence in the back of our neck. So you put the tape measure there, your arm is up and slightly bent, and you want to bring the tape measure all the way down to the wrist.
to the wristband.
Like where you would want your sleeve to end.
Yeah.
Okay, so your sleeve length. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is there anybody that's wanting to make it longer because the directions change a little bit for those who decide they want to make it longer? You just need to keep track of how many stitches added.
Hey, can I go back and ask a question about the swatching? I wasn't brave enough to ask it, so Mimi, thank you for asking your swatching question. It made me feel more comfortable. So I guess I need to do both swatches first before I start anything.
Yes.
And so let's say my swatches indicate that I should go down a size for needle A and needle B. Does that mean that I also go down a size for C and D?
I would go down, take
The whole thing down. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would.
we need to do the brioche swatch also, right? I did the stockinette, but I hadn't done the brioche yet. Okay.
I didn't do the brioche swatch, I will admit, but I did the sweater swatch.
Yeah, okay.
That's a cuff. It probably has a little more leeway.
So you think we're okay if we just do the first one? Because I basically hate swatching.
I would say you must at least do the stockinette swatch.
Okay.
And then
if
like
it
what
comes out-
Robin was.
Yes.
If it comes out good, then just go with it.
And like what Robin said, you need to wash and block your swatch. So what I do for washing and blocking, you don't have to break your yarn because then you waste your yarn. So what I do my swatch.
Oh.
I'll bind off except for the last stitch, and I'll just pull my yarn through. I stick it under the kitchen faucet. I get it good and wet, put it on some paper towels, let it dry overnight, and then check my gauge.
Oh,
So
Then you just roll it back up.
you don't have to, and then I roll it back up.
Oh,
I use
yeah,
that yarn.
thanks for
Yeah,
that.
I never cut my
I
yarn.
never even thought of that.
Yeah, I always reuse my swatch. And you guys, don't be afraid to ask us anything. There's no judgment here.
no.
I mean, there's no stupid question. So
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah,
here to have fun.
that was good, Donna, because I have all these like coasters.
Oh no, I never do that.
I always save them in case I need it. I'm like, well, I can always take
Yeah,
it
I
out
do
of the bag
too.
if I need it. But
No, I bind off all the stitches except for the last one. And then your last loop, I just make a big loop. I
okay,
leave my ball of yarn, my
Yep.
swatch attached, and
Yeah.
that way you
Good
don't have to
tip.
waste anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Janet is asking about how to make it longer. I'm trying to find the page where
Let's
Oh,
see.
decreasing when you've adjusted your length, but I think we need somewhere the length is in here.
I think it's kind of close to after the choosing your size. It's definitely in here because I've seen it multiple times.
It's on page 7. Under the body. The third paragraph down, to determine if you want the cardigan longer.
Determine if you want it longer or shorter.
Okay.
Which page again?
Page 7.
7?
Yes, so there's a note for it right there, like the 4th paragraph down.
Oh, yeah.
That's one up from the note, to determine.
And I thought that there was they recommended a calculation or something.
Well,
She says-
under the mosaic color work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tells you basically do it in multiples of 6.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
It says you'll get the stitch counts in instructions. Add and subtract the number of stitches you added.
Yeah. So you need to highlight that part, Janet, that bottom
Right.
note.
The note tells you what to do, basically.
Yeah. Good job, Rachel. Rachel's starting her brioche swatch now.
Good.
Yeah,
I hate swatching.
she hates
But Robin reminds me that I need to.
have to swatch. Yes, we could tell the sock story if we want, Rachel. So that was.
My new
I've
sock is
never-
beautiful and I'm really enjoying knitting it now.
See, when it's the right gauge, it makes sense.
I've never swatched for a sweater.
No.
Ever.
All right.
Never.
You
I
are,
had to laugh on that one.
I always swatch.
yeah, I do too. And I like swatching because I get to feel for the yarn and what the drape is going to be, that sort of thing. So
I don't remember how to access it, but Marie Green has a nice article on swatching that tells you the reasons why, and she's a sweater designer, so she's really into the fit of things.
yeah.
But her article and taking an online tutorial with her convinced me of convinced me to swatch, basically.
Her website is Olive Knits. So it's probably,
Okay,
probably
yeah,
on there.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it might have been a blog post, but it was a good article on it.
I just don't want to go to all that trouble and then find out that the sweater is too big because I didn't, because my gauge was too big.
Right.
Or,
Yeah,
or I've made this beautiful sweater that doesn't fit me because my gauge
yes,
was too
that
tight.
that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I don't like the yarn.
Right.
Mhm.
It really
Yeah.
doesn't take you that long to knit.
No.
It doesn't.
Even if you only do half a swatch.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who would only do half a swatch.
No, none of us here would do that.
No, I would never do that. Haha.
Swatching's good for the pool, small work for the swimming pool.
There you go.
You can do it while watching grandkids too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like 10 months old and then just forget about it. You can't. But if they're a little bit older, you can do it.
The German short rows, guys, if you haven't done a German short row, they're the only way to do a short row, in my opinion. So the wrap and turns, I don't do those anymore. Do you, Donna? Do you?
I do both. If you know what, I am one of those people. If the designer says do
Yeah.
X, I do X. And she says do, I do whatever. I'm just not. I'm okay with whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't mind wrap and turns.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the German where you just put the yarn in front and then turn the whole thing and keep going?
Well, it's where you turn and then you from the right side to the wrong side and you slip the stitch and then you pull your yarn. It makes that double stitch.
Oh, yeah. You pull
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah. And if you don't understand like the abbreviations or the techniques, you can always YouTube it because everything's on YouTube now. So if you're, wondering how to do a German short row, you can just go on YouTube and get a visual of it.
Yeah. So nice. So nice to
Yeah.
Okay.
have that.
Okay, ladies, are we good for this week? So next week we'll see y'all with your sleeves casted on, right? If you need brioche help, I'll be happy to help you. Either you text me and we'll set up a time, or if you're around near Black Mountain, and I think Robin has a gal maybe for your knit night or.
Absolutely help. Yep. So. Good.
Okay, thank you, Robin.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Robin.
Donna, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll see you
Nice to
next
see
week.
everybody else.
Mhm.
Okay.
Meeting.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.